Hey again everyone, and thanks for being here. Day here bringing you another episode in my The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Let's Play. In today's episode, I do so hope that we can pin the tail on Miss Brett and have her convicted. Is my hope for this for this specific trial. It's been a long time coming, and I want to say that this is definitely going to be in the books of Ace Attorney lore as the longest case, first trial case rather. Anyway, but be that as it may, we're gonna wind up talking to the two witnesses from before. I want to say Korikuta, something like that, and Nosa. So yes, we're gonna wind up talking to them again. We did find the Koban coin that belonged to Korikuta, which means that, I don't know. All I know for sure is that we saw the hot pot without the blood stain that Ryunosuke said that he saw, which he said he remembered vividly after thinking back about that moment. So we're going to see if we can glean some new information from that. I don't know for sure what's going to happen there yet. I'm not really sure. I still don't understand quite how the coin got underneath the stake in the first place, because it still feels as if someone tried to hide it, is what I'm gathering here. And since we're bringing back Nosa as well, perhaps he has something to do with it, the baby. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens.
What's this all about? Why have I been caught up here again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby idol? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Oh, Korikuta, I guarantee you're going to want to speak once I show you what we found.
Be that as it may, Korikuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen—
Roar! Yes, that's it. The one, the very exact one that it is. Wait, whoa. Did he just stab him in the foot? Is that— oh my gosh. His foot has the sword in it. Oh, jeez Louise, that seems to hurt. It feels like it will hurt. Ugh. I guess that's the soldier in him, because oh my gosh, the fact that he's not screaming out right now. That was splendiferous, holy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? It wasn't dropped. It was underneath steak meat.
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
That's a nice way of describing it. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? This sounds like it could have been describing something completely different.
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Oh, who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. It had to be Nosa at this point, but the plate was on the table of the victim. I don't fully understand that at all. Because as far as I know, Nosa was nowhere near the victim's table.
Excuse me. Could I say something?
Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. Yeah, I do remember that. It did escape my mind that it was more so not just for what we're going in here for.
A Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Oh. So yeah, this was definitely planned for theft. That's why it was under the meat. Got it.
Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected.
So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it?
Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems.
I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the Korakuta-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korakuta-san's Koban and hid it under the steak?
Well, it can only be one Mr. Nosa, in my opinion.
Take that!
That's where I'm going with this. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yesa Nosa.
Whoa! How? How dare you? You monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnival, eh? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Idol. Idol is behind, the mastermind behind all this.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely him. How dare you blame a baby? Oh my god. Shame, shame, shame on you, sir. Shame. Look at the baby's face. Oh, he can't believe his own daddy is gonna do this to him. How dare you? How dare you? You are a scoundrel. You are the scum of the earth. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Sergeant, you were gonna revoke his title for that. Revoke it. What is happening? Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Ah! I have seen everything now.
Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ieso Nosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
This is unreal. You blamed your baby for this. How dare you?
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe?
So he really is poor.
I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living. Yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
The place is heaving with money.
Okay, Mr. Krabs.
Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time.
It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork, even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban?
Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped a coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang!
Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Idle too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Well, he stole it. Alright. But then, I would imagine that he hid the coin under his steak, right? Like, he wouldn't just... But I guess he said it was in the commotion. But this does look like steak that was being chomped on. Because that's not something I really thought about. Like, Ryunosuke just said it. It sounds like he didn't use a knife or fork. That looks like a steak that was not something you used a knife or fork with. And, yeah, I don't know why I didn't actually, like, think about that before. But that's a very cruel way of eating a hot steak in a hot plate. So that has to be his steak. I still don't understand how the... This is ridiculous. I know it has to be her. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett? Oh, of course. Dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there is no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Cause she's definitely not gonna eat a steak with her mouth. She would definitely be someone that would use a knife and a fork to eat a steak. So I don't think that the steak that we currently have in our evidence is her steak. I don't know in what fashion the switch happened, why it happened, etc., but I don't know. I am trying to see if I could piece it together, but for some reason because why would the place be switched? Just to throw off this part of the case, I guess, but I'm pretty sure there's a deeper meaning to it. Hiding a coin and a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it?
Well...
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. We're not gonna let her dip and dive, are we? and good day. Favorite face!
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. The fact that she said that they ate without a knife or fork, and there is clearly bite marks in this bloody steak we have in our pocket right now. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. I want to go to England. You want to be free, don't you? You don't want to go to doggone prison. Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words there from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Come on, Kazuma. Come on, Asogi. I know you know. If I know, you know. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. She's wearing gloves too. There is no way she was ever touching a steak with those on. Yes, I'm right. She said they're exposing an undeniable contradiction.
I'm going to need to see evidence, Consul. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it?
Wrong button.
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Ah, I see what he did there with the wordplay. Now you're just splitting hairs. That is my favorite pose for her, though. Like, I don't think I stand with my, I don't even know, my midsection, like, kind of lean to the side like that. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? But there is someone here who did eat that steak just the way they described it. Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? I honestly can't wait to stop wasting this guy. It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, Consul?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. This is making me want some steak, darn it. 3-day-old steak is making me want steak. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah!
Oh!
Ah!
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something.
So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. Okay, I think it finally just hit me right there and there. The reason why she switched to steaks, is because of the blood on the platter, right? So she just switched to steaks with what was nearest or something like that. But this steak we found, for one, the Koban helped us realize that it was not this. You know, we did a little bit more investigating thanks to that, and now the teeth marks. So yeah, she was the one that switched the states. That's the part I was missing. Cause I'm like, none of this makes any sense. The blood on the putter, though, she had to get rid of that. But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was She's not gonna stand for that. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. She won't stand for eating barbaric steak, and she's not gonna stand for where this is going. So therefore, this is her response. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Blink, nope. Rest assured, at least not in the direction you're claiming it to be. I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Ew, you disgust me, lady. Okay, rest assured I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to... Got it. Of course. Dear lady, stop being a suck-up.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers?
Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her.
Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this?
Yes. Now, at last, it's all come together. Yeah, for some reason, I was missing that part completely. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Consul.
What would you call it then?
But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Shut up! Conclusive evidence! How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. Shut your freaking mouth up, lady. You're pissing me off.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? Yeah, I don't know where he's going with this. But just because it hasn't been shown yet doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
Huh? Absurd! Well, wrong person. This is absurd. This trial has run several hours already. So what? It's all about getting to the truth, ouchie. But I bet your doggone ego can't handle that. And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
Oh, he's saying objection now. Maybe he was already doing that, but yeah, I think he did do that already. I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. Oh. He's talking about that other steak that, Hosonaga. He mentioned it earlier. This is what happens when you stop playing a game for a little while. You lose a little bit of where the plot's going. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial.
Oh my god, I hope so.
Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Hosonaga. Hosonaga-san. It was you! The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What?
I have it.
Yes.
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous.
I'll let you have it. No. I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chopping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korakuta-san's coin, he shows that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
T-shun! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet, the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor does she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Lady, let me tell you this. As much as it pains me to even say it this way, stealing is a lot less tragic of a thing to do than what you did. You stole a man's life. So technically, you're still a thief. Jeez Louise.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. No, he didn't switch it. The lady switched it. Miss Brett switched it. You did switch the plates. Oh, he did.
Well,
Oh, never mind then.
well, after it happened,
I thought the lady did it to cover the blood stain.
when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hit the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it.
Oh, so
If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it.
I'll be getting my marching orders.
So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance.
Okay, you look like Wario 2 or Waluigi or something.
With military precision and timing, I switched my stick with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning.
He's ignoring the heck out of her.
It was do or die, I tell you.
So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
He doesn't care about you. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
He went back to saying yes. So if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga,
Yes.
earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. I'm starting to think she didn't even eat a piece of steak, because we said that, He burned himself. Like, it was piping hot when he burned himself.
That's correct.
Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Shut up! Shut up! What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
That's why you're scared. Come on, show me the blood stain, Nara. Ready.
No, you're not wiggling your way out of it this time, lady.
To call her a lady is crude in itself. I beg your pardon.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. Oh, she's a smug little witch.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers. That's why we need to see it. I'm quite sure what I saw, Miss Brett. Maybe he's Apollo Justice's ancestor. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Come on, lucky lottery numbers.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Come on, Hosonaga. I placed all my bets on you.
Yes, sir! No one calls me a crime scene thief for nothing. Sorry for keeping you.
Oh, she did eat it.
Here's the other steak in his plate. Please, feel free to examine it.
How did you not notice the blood stain there, Hosonaga? Oh my god. You may have preserved the scene, but the fact that you missed this huge blood stain bothers the nonsense out of me. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look.
Yes!
It's not even a small one.
Now this makes everything clear.
Wait, wrong voice. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me.
In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have been the shooter.
Ah! It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wisdom from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is.
Come on, let's see that swan go crazy again.
That's right, Miss Giselle Brett.
It's you.
I wonder if her name is a play off of the word Brett.
Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no. This is what happens when you act racist, lady. Like, seriously. You were too smug for your own good, doubting the abilities of the people of this country. You thought you had it all figured out. If she's able to fly away with that swan, I'm done. Are those little babies? Oh my god! Of course, Asogi keeps his calm and cool demeanor. Oh, the baby chickies! Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. If you're scum, you're scum. That's all I have to say. It has nothing to do with where you're born, what you affiliate with. If you're scum, and lady, you're the freaking definition of it.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. So we actually have her? This is it? She's actually going to confess? It was I who took the professor's life using karate. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you plan to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison will be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over.
It seemed like you actually ate some of the steak.
I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
Ah, that would be me, I suppose.
Yeah, that would be unexpected. He wasn't planned to be there. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spot of the moment.
How did she get 2 guns, though? A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. I mentioned that the first time, before anything else was mentioned. I said under her skirt or in her bosom or under the swan. Skirt was the first thing I ever said about where she could hide that freaking pistol in it. That's exactly where she hid it. Under your skirt. Under you skirt. I saw that typo.
So I was right. There were 2 guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure that I would notice it.
But you did not have to touch it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I'd intended. You even picked it up. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
she shot a corpse.
man, she is scum.
That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead.
Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Oh my god, this is just... Ew. Like, lady. You are disgusting. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
I want an apology the size of Texas, thank you. Please and thank you. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun.
Man, this police detective, he didn't do it. He did the bare minimum of what he could do correctly. I just want to point that out. Like, yeah, sure, he preserved, like, evidence, but he didn't notice the gigantic blood stain on that steak's pan or whatever. And then he also didn't even think to look at, like, the position of the corpse. All he cared about was apprehending an innocent person. Like, he needs to be fired for that. Sorry, not sorry. He made a couple of blunders, and that it just doesn't feel like he's a good inspector. You can't have inspector in your name and not inspect things correctly. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Oh, misdemeanor, you're not gonna make this sound nice. Nicer than what it truly is, anyway. Your Excellency.
Yes.
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? What the freak would she have to say to the judge?
I shall call on you.
Oh God, don't let it be. Well. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. What on earth could she possibly have to say to the judge? I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Screw you, lady. Screw you. No, I can't forgive you. Never shall I ever. Like, seriously, you did everything in your power to try to pin the tail on me. Don't appreciate that. Not even a little bit. You're scum. Not only did you kill a man with poison, that you disrespected the Japanese, you disrespected a language, you disrespected me, you desecrated a corpse by shooting a dead body. Like, you did more than have a misdemeanor. Like, no. You're not a good person. Under no context.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be! Takasuchi Ouchi does not lose! Not to the likes of this rookie student. It's not about winning or losing, Ouchi, which is what Edgeworth eventually learned and found out. It's about not letting a freaking crazy person run free. She is demented, okay? She has mental issues. She didn't care about anything that she did up to the point of her actually realizing that she had ran out of places to run. You really wanted me to go to prison, too, for just to keep a perfect win record or whatever you had going on over there. You better start getting used to the tough opposition. Ryunosuke Naruhodo! What? Yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. Oh, shut up. You've become conceited with age, Consul, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Hoo-hoo! It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Hey now! Hey, he looks just like Winston Payne now. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan would never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. That is hilarious. So it's basically like destiny that Phoenix decided to become a defense attorney.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
I thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. but the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue.
Hey, you're young too. I mean, especially considering the other judge. You still got some life in you. I don't mean to.
Kazuma Asogi.
Yes.
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden?
Ah, never mind.
You can't say never mind, you didn't even start. Explain yourself.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Oh, yes?
in you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Wow. Oh yeah, he has to stand behind the podium.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Dun dun dun! Yeah! Whoa! Yeah! Ouchie! Ah, yeah! Whoa! In your face, ouchie! You suck! Woo!
This court is now adjourned.
We did it! Yay! 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yumi University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh, ha, wrong one. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it? Dang.
Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. This is more information you didn't know. Well, it was a long time ago now, besides. It's your turn, Asogi.
Don't put too much pressure on him now.
Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking that sweat to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ouchie did too.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but
she's gonna get let go? She's gonna be... Oh God, no. What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's a true culprit after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai? What? She's going to China?
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But why not? Oh no. She's definitely appearing in another case at this point. Oh, freaking God. Why are we letting her go? She killed a man. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Consular. Alright, I gotta look that up. Because I feel like that's important. Inspector Hosonaga.
It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate...
But... What's all this about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her. But then, who? Who's going to bring her to justice? Apollo doesn't exist yet.
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Sorry, I am looking up consular. I need to look that up. Okay.
Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments.
A wrong person.
They can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Consular court. That's probably how you say it. Consular. That sounds better than what I've been saying. It's not something I have ever seen before. We'll have to hear how to pronounce it after I finish watching this stuff. Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan?
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
Aw, shoot! What? I don't believe it. My life was on the line, but her life wasn't.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They are obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
Wow, so not only did she have like no opportunity to ever be like tried for this particular incident, but if the shoe was on the other foot and I actually got convicted for it, I definitely would have been going to prison. Oh, shoes, this is horrible.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yep, she's coming back. His words just proved it.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Gosh, she's going to be right in the pinnacle of something else.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor...
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's non-guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival?
Of course.
It's the head waiter. I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
Who was the head waiter before you started 2 weeks ago?
You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now.
He's more a waiter than he is an inspector. Just saying.
To Le Carnival. Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay, then. It feels bittersweet now that I know that freaking Brett is getting off. Like, she's getting to go to Shanghai. She's definitely coming back. Oh, man. She's a loose end. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. No, you'll see her again. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. You'll probably figure that out later, too.
Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke?
I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today.
I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that.
What?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious. There were a few times Kazuma was like lost.
If I helped you today, I was only right at the very start. Wait, if I helped you today, it was only at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer. I mean,
oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
No. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like, you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in, and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client. Well, I mean, considering it was my back on the line, that's kind of different from just, blind trust in a stranger. You and me were best friends, and then on top of that, I was the one, whose life was on the line.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well,
You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma.
Stop making that face.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryanosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, aren't you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. Well, it makes sense. We really are running low on time. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. Your first court victory. This should be my only court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Yes, that too. He looks pained. What is he going through? He seemed more confident about all this before the trial started. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, kinda, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Exactly. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Ooh, what kind of favor did he... Ooh, what kind of favor? Oh, I can't wait to start the next one. I know you guys already know that this Defense Debut awarded. So yes, this is going to be the end of this episode. We finally, well, I can't say we finally caught her. We didn't. We were unable to actually get to a point where she can be convicted now. She's going to Shanghai. I don't know why. I gotta look into certain definitions of words that were heard in this whole episode. So I'm going to do that. But it just blows my mind that I would have been going to prison, but she killed a man, massacred a corpse, tried to pin the tail on me, and she still gets to pretty much walk away scot-free right now. So that sucks. That sucks some major balls, not gonna lie. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.